what we're trying to do to make sure that as the vision of higher education changes and what it looks like around the country, that Syracuse is in a position of strength to continue to adjust with the changing times, which, when we all think about it, is pretty much what the university's history has been all about. From the Board of Trustees perspective, I know that's very key and very important as well. And to share some of that and some more on this Forever Orange campaign, it is my honor to introduce the chair of the Board of Trustees for Syracuse University, Kathy Walters.
Thank you, Mike, and hello, everyone. Chancellor, I think I speak for all of us on this call when I say we could not be prouder of this university and your leadership. You know, not many times have I had the opportunity to publicly thank you for who you are and for what we do and for what you do for us. Thank you, Chancellor Severud. We and I could also not be prouder of the ingenuity and dedication of the entire Orange community and what they have brought to the pandemic response. It takes a team. We are and we were a team. And we could not be prouder of our campaign efforts during this time. When COVID derailed our regional launches, we showed the orange grace and grit that underpins our entrepreneurial spirit, and we pivoted. So I'd like to call out a few successes. We quickly launched the Syracuse Responds, our COVID relief program. We focused Boost the Q's and the First Coming Back Together telethon on much needed financial aid also. And we converted campus events into very, very successful online programs. All in all, since March, the university has offered more than 175 virtual programs to alumni and staff and volunteers. The chancellor and everyone across the university has participated, making 42,000 calls, emails, virtual visits to alumni, parents, and friends. This is an investment in relationships. And right now, all relationships are important to our happiness, but I am sure they will also pay off in the years ahead for all our campaigns. The other thing that will pay off is our commitment to alumni leadership. This is the first campaign in SU history that is truly being delivered by volunteers and staff. We have a national campaign council that includes trustees, regional, and school representation. We work together with strong college and unit boards. Together, we're laying the foundation for success, not only in this campaign, but in all of those to come. And so why? So that we can enable our students to become leaders for the world today and in all our tomorrows. Thank you for being Orange forever. Now I'm going to turn it over to fellow trustee and campaign tri-chair John Riley for a progress report on our 3 campaign goals. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy, and thanks to all of you for being with us today. You know, I must admit that when the Chancellor asked me to join Pat Martino and Mike Thonis as chairs of this campaign, I was a bit reluctant to say yes. After all, $1.5 billion is a lot of money, and it's by far more money than this great school has ever tried to raise. Well, now that we're a few years into the campaign, I can honestly say to you, my concerns were misplaced. For one thing, we've already seen several extraordinary Forever Orange campaign gifts. The Newhouse family's continuing support of the school that appropriately bears their name. A major gift from Dan and Gail Daniello, allowing the university to expand its already strong support of veterans. Revolutionary changes to the Shine Student Center, made possible by the continuing generosity of the Crown family. And of course, the support of Steve and Debbie Barnes, the driving force in making the Barnes Center the world-class university health and wellness center it is today. There's a lot more work to do, and the second half of the campaign will be harder, but we're off and running, and with the right leadership and the right volunteers assembled here today, I fully expect we'll achieve our goal. So let's take a closer look at our progress. First, engagement. SU is one of the few universities to develop a way to measure both the number of alumni engaged with Syracuse and the quality of that engagement. Needless to say, all of us on this call are meaningfully engaged. But surprisingly, over half of our alumni do not interact with the university at all. That represents a lot of potential, and that is what being Orange is all about. Next is participation, which measures the number of donors who have given to the campaign. Today, we have roughly 85,000 unique donors to this campaign, and that makes our ultimate goal of 125,000 donors very doable. Now, that may sound great, but the category that really counts is annual giving by undergrad alumni. Our peer schools rely on about 30% of their alumni to support the institution. We're about half that number. Here again, another big opportunity. And by the way, this is also an important element in the U.S. News and World Report rankings. The third goal, and arguably the bottom line, is our campaign total. We're particularly happy about three things. First, we are broadening our base of major gift supporters. We've received 168 gifts of $100,000 or more since we kicked off this campaign. Second, those gifts are supporting core priorities and at all levels: financial aid, faculty excellence, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and signature campus improvement projects. Third, of those six-figure gifts, 74 were from first-time major gift donors. So as of today, including what has been arguably an unprecedented year, we've raised over $915 million and are well on our way to meeting our overall objectives. We can do it. I know Matt will give us more detail on what's next a little later in the program. But for now, I want to emphasize that we're on a strong trajectory and that the single most important thing we can do to ensure success is to make our gifts at whatever level and ask others to do the same. Many of you have already done that, and on behalf of the entire Orange community, thank you. And thank you for sharing the inspiration we're about to see in this video.
It's really important just to donate back, because having all those great experiences and learning all these life lessons at Syracuse, I want others to be as successful as I am and even more successful.
My time at Syracuse was incredible. It was some of the best 4 years of my life. So giving back to the school is a way for me to stay connected, be involved, give back to the school and its students.
It is my hope that more Syracuse students from varied backgrounds and needs will have access to the incredible resources to help them grow as innovators.
Because when I was a student, I was lucky enough to receive scholarships from donors just like me.
We can help so many veterans and their families get an education at Syracuse University.
Every good thing in my life I can trace back to my time at SU. So I want to help make it even just a little bit easier for somebody else to have access to the kind of world-class education.
And I believe that no student should be deprived of the opportunity to graduate from Syracuse University.
I wanted to make sure that those deserving African American and Latinx students wouldn't be left out.
All of our efforts this year, both traditional and new, have enabled us to live up to the promise of our founding mission, which is to provide a bridge between the past, present, and future.
Bill and I chose to donate to the university as it has given us so much in terms of opportunities and connections.
We want to give back to the university that has given our family so much.
Need to hear so many people from so many different places who have felt that connection and were personally aided by those who came before them and are truly paying it forward to the next generation. And I think you heard in John's comments, despite the headwinds, we've really gone to some big places here during the last 8-9 months. Now, how do we keep going? And John, I think, highlighted one of the key segments to pulling that off. And those are getting folks who are not engaged and connected, who still have that same Orange passion that we do, get them under the tent, get them involved in this. And Tracy Barish has done an incredible job over the years in doing a lot of that, connecting alumni in some of the roles that she's had as a volunteer before and continues to do it now. And Tracy's a big sports fan, so if there's a scorecard to kind of share with everybody, I don't think there's anybody better to do it than Trace. Hey, pal, good to see you.
Hey, Mike, it's great to see you too. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for all you do for SU. And good afternoon, everyone. So as Kathy noted, the most prestigious alumni programs in the country are those in which the alumni take the lead. But even those so-called prestigious programs don't have the passion of our alums, of Syracuse alums. And we as fellow alums can make that conversation and that connection in a way that, as much as we love them, our staff cannot, which is why peer outreach is a principal charge for the National Campaign Council and for all of us on this call. All you have to do is share your Syracuse story. So we are approaching this outreach strategically, focusing our efforts on a list of 4,000 alumni who have the capacity to make a meaningful contribution to the university, but for one reason or another have not engaged, or at least not yet. We got this effort off the ground in spring of 2019 at the Volunteer Summit. Remember all the great salon events so many of you hosted leading up to last fall's kickoff? Well, with COVID, we quickly pivoted these to digital roundtables, like the example you see here. They've proven remarkably effective in reaching people who have not been available to the university before. Mike, I know that you and the Chancellor have done several of these with great results. So let's take a look at our accomplishments to date. In 18 months, we have touched almost a quarter of that 4,000 person target list, including introducing over 250 new relationships to university staff. Now, I understand from Matt that this would represent the work of 4 to 5 full-time staff people. And everyone listening to me right now did that. Your efforts have made a difference. Given COVID, we've doubled down on our digital outreach efforts. Since July, we have done 21 more of these highly targeted roundtables. And the bold among us have been reaching out to alumni one-on-one via LinkedIn or text or email. And some of us have been, quite ingenious in making these connections. The alumni that we engage now will be the faces at next year's campaign celebrations and the donors and volunteers who will propel Syracuse to great successes in years to come. Our goal for this spring, another 25 roundtables and 150 more contacts. We'd love every school and college to try this approach if you haven't done so already. And since I've been told we're in need of moderators, Dean Anderson, I'm happy to sign up for one for Whitman if you need me. We talk a lot about giving, but right now, every one of our colleges can use connections for jobs or internships. And this is a really easy ask and a great reason to reach out one-on-one to fellow alums. I want to share a recent personal story about the power of the Orange Network. My boss introduced me to a colleague in New York that she met over a Zoom call, and she connected us because she noticed that this woman named Lauren Porter, who's a 2015 Arts and Sciences alum, was wearing a Syracuse shirt. We had a great conversation about our collective Syracuse experience. And so during that call, I asked 3 things of her. First, get involved with SU. Second, to get a friend involved. And third, to make a donation no matter the amount. I connected her with the alumni office and received an email back from Lauren not that long ago about how excited she was to get more involved with SU. She is our next generation of alumni leader and donor. Every one of these connections is meaningful. So I want to thank you all for listening to me today, and I hope this next video will inspire you to go out and share your own distinctive Orange story.
Volunteering for me is all about paying it forward. I reflect on the moments in my life which were most impactful, and attending Syracuse University is and has been one of the most impactful moments in my life. I want to provide that opportunity for others so that they too can create a better life for themselves and their families to come.
My favorite activity this year was being on the National Campaign Council. They gave me a list of alums who hadn't been heard from in a while. It was terrific to bring those people back into the Orange family.
In the past, I've hosted social events for alumni and informational events for parents of prospective students at my home.
It has been tremendously rewarding, mentoring specifically 3 students at Whitman.
I believe we're working with students through Our Time Has Come to develop programming, to provide financial support, and to just be mentors to these amazing students.
I recently hosted and joined a panel of SU alumni and the Dean of the College of Law. By gathering together as a Syracuse community for this discussion, we've been able to join together to step up and speak out and change our communities.
We started with a roundtable. It was such a joy to see the deep sense of connect that alumni had with the school. It is truly a privilege to be able to serve the university in this capacity.